behalf of the Nuka-Cola Corporation, we'd like to welcome each and every one of you aboard the Nuka Express monorail. For your own safety, please remain seated or utilize the provided handrails while the train is in motion.
And he's off! Let's hope our latest prey can draw a little inspiration from our previous victims.
Fight coming up is rigged.
I wouldn't expect anything less from a raider.
Yeah.
There we go.
Power to the arena's down by 30%. You do that. Not bad.
Staying hydrated is half the battle, right?
He ain't got a choice.
Death by squirt gun. I'd love to see the message on his tombstone.
Tell me about it.
If this is a trick, I'll make sure you end up like Coulter.
See? You're fitting in already.
Deaf? Do I need to repeat myself? Were you sleeping or were you not?
Yes, I was sleeping, okay? It's what people do when they're exhausted.
Do your job and eat ass. That's better.
Well, hello there, young fella. Welcome to Nuka-World. I'm Mira, your friendly Nuka-World informational robotic assistant.
Are you finished wasting my time, you filthy low-life scabber? Cause I'm getting bored, and when I get bored, I get violent.
Wait, what did you just say? Hey
I
there.
thought we
Nuka-World! I've always dreamed of coming here, and now I finally made it!
If you're searching for a more ridiculous pair of sunglasses, don't bother.
Ah, yes, of course. Welcome to Johnny Aluminum Arm's fantastic theme park adventure. There's probably better vacation spots, but you know what? We'll make the best of it. We've made it through the gauntlet, took in some sights and scenery, met with some of the people. Lovely, of course. Now it's time to start the main quest, which we do by talking with Gage.
Welcome home, boss. I hope you liked fucking ass. Let's take a shit.
Sounds like this whole thing is a waste of time.
Nope. First thing you gotta do is get good head.
Sounds like this whole thing is a waste of
Nuke.
We are told to go meet with the other Raider gang's leaders. Let's start with the disciples.
Oh, you know we should run this place. Not some little greenie Gage dragged in. We're giving him a second chance.
Gage screws this up. He knows we'll skin him alive. So shut up and be patient.
What about you, big guy? Nothing to say on the matter?
As long as he doesn't get in my way. Don't much care.
Yeah, figured as much.
Both of you just get out of here. And make sure the others get the message.
I do not like the disciples because they're edgy and obsessed with gore. They're super manipulative and possibly cannibals. Here, take a look at this audio tape.
Hey, Ruth. Sammy just came back with this girl Dixie and brought the best news ever. She said she comes from a place where we'll be safe and protected, called Nuka-World. Finally. I am so tired of trying to live out here on our own, dealing with raiders and finding food and just surviving. We're packing up to leave, and we're out of here. I wanted to leave this message for you.
It's awfully sweet of y'all to welcome a stranger into your home.
You've no idea how happy we are that we ran into you.
Not as happy as I am.
What are you doing? Wait, I thought you were here to... Ah! Kate, run! Sam, no!
honey. I'll never keep two lovebirds apart.
No! No!
That went well. What's this? I think I'll keep you as my little souvenir.
It's essentially just being deceptive and torturing people for essentially no reason other than I'm a weird sadist. Their leader has a god complex.
Hey.
So, you're Gage's little pet project.
And what are you? His grandma?
Fuck this up, and I will kill you. Although, I admit I have even better plans for Gage. But, if you support us and keep your promises like a good little overboss, we back you. You get to live, and everybody wins.
I don't make promises, and you'll do what I say.
Looks like you're already a step above culture.
And their armor looks stupid. Okay, moving on. Now the operators. Slightly better dressed, but equally insufferable. Upon meeting with the leader, this gal, along with her brother, I've discovered that, much like my father, they put material wealth and money above all else in life. All of them seem to have a complete obsession with money.
What did you feel as you did it? When you brought that walking pile of human garbage to his knees?
Bored? Kind of like this conversation, now that you mention it. Hey.
That we are the only gang you should be backing around here. Because we're the only ones who see this place for what it is. A temple. A testament to the only thing that matters in this world.
Soda?
Huh, not quite.
Caps. This place was built for the sole purpose of taking caps out of the pockets of fools. We'd like some assurances that you intend to bring this place back to its true purpose. And that we're going to get back to robbing folks of their fucking money.
Actually, I'm really more in this for the soda.
Great. Another nut.
William. Of course, overboss.
Now, this raider group will look the most civilized out of all of them, but I disagree. If you take a look at their computers and personal logs, you essentially can find a detailed list of all the logs of their leader essentially developing a chemical to chemically lobotomize slaves to make them completely mindless and easier to control.
What'd you say your name was again? Fuck you, Lizzie. When my crew finds out about this, they're gonna wear your skin. Okay, we're just gonna call you 8. 8, would you please stop talking? Go to hell. As you can see, 8 is currently not receptive to my suggestions. Now, deploying the formula. Now, 8, I want you to hit yourself. Hit myself? Please. Again, please. Harder this time. That's perfect. Thank you, 8. Now, if you wouldn't mind. 8! What are you... Are you an idiot? Did you really think that shit would work? I'm gonna eat your... Thank you, William. I'm going to need a minute before you bring in number 9.
Essentially, they capture farmers, lobotomize them with this weird chemical concoction, and then force them to do pretty terrible things as experiments. And no, they don't have any redeeming qualities. Much like the disciples, the operators have earned their names on Johnny's special list, which we will get into later. And now time for the third and certainly not the least of the raider groups, the Pack. The best way I could describe them is a bunch of radioactive post-apocalyptic furries on crack, living in a zoo, looking around their den, quote unquote. I think that description is quite accurate. This is the least insufferable out of the group, but they're definitely weird, and they do some pretty sketchy stuff in their den too, like, I don't know, feeding people to animals that they have down there while they're still alive, and other weird things, and their fursuits suck, and for that fact alone, they have earned their names on Johnny's list as well.
Now that I get a closer look at you, not sure I'm buying this new overboss thing.
I'll send you my resume and references.
The fuck's a resume?
Johnny Aluminum Arm doesn't like these raider groups. He doesn't want anything to do with them. If you talk with this slave here, they'll give you a quest to actually execute all the 3 raider groups. Kind of deceptive, because she tells you it's just the leaders, but If you start attacking anybody, it makes all the raider gangs hostile instantly. So technically, yes, it's a take out the leaders, but it's also take out the entire factions as well. It was at this moment Johnny Aluminum Arm remembered that he's the general of the Minutemen.
I've heard about you. In charge of the Minutemen, ain't you? No idea why you'd waste your time with those has-beens.
With the power of Nexus Fallout 4 mods form, it is time to summon the Minutemen for an invasion of Nuka-World to wipe out the disgusting people here. I call on the radio and request some backup, but it's gonna take a little while for them to mobilize. So in the meantime, we're gonna go check out the Wild West. Ah yes, the Wild West part of the theme park. Obviously inspired by Frontierland at Disneyland, we have lovely desert American West theming, albeit slightly infested with strange things in the ground. The main objective in this area, of course, is to clear it out for a raider group, but we're not going to do that for obvious reasons. But primarily in this land, you have to find these robotic NPCs that give you little side quests within the park, of course, that you need to complete to get a safe code. These quests were designed for kiddos before the war, so it's quite silly. You have the option to skip these little quests, but you need the charisma of course, Johnny Aluminum Arm.
Upstairs, and the other two are in town. You game?
I already took everyone their orders. Don't you remember? You said I did a rootin' tootin' good job, partner.
Who can resist a face like that? We go ahead and talk with the sheriff.
Well, howdy there, Sheriff. Looks like you got some pesky varmints here in the Gulch that need straightening out.
And instigate the quest. And obviously the cowboy hat is not optional. We wipe out a lot of the infestations, collect some western wear for our collection, and we help out some of the NPCs and even have a little duel with this guy.
Hold on to your hat, One-Eyed Ike, because I'm about to show you the fastest gun in the West.
Let's see if your shooting is as fast as your mouth. Draw. 1, 2, 3.
I win, obviously, because I'm just the best. I tell this guy I don't really want to serve drinks, and he gives me the safe code anyway. This guy lost his giddy-up buttercups, but I don't feel like going on a scavenger hunt, so I use my oh-so-delightful charisma to convince a robot that I don't want to do it. I get rolled by cave crickets at least 7 times because, oh my gosh, Bethesda, these things are too overpowered. I'm approaching level 40. They shouldn't hit this hard. Upon gathering the complete safe code, we go ahead and get the key to Mad Mulligan's Mine, which is a train car ride inspired by Big Thunder Mountain from, of course, Disneyland. Unfortunately, I don't think this is writable. I really wish it was because that would be quite cool. The theming is quite nice, the queue is good too, but it's absolutely infested with tons of bloodworms. We can find various notes on the bodies throughout the queue. They talk about the slow infestation of bloodworms here and some of the raider groups as well. We completely clear out the ride and take a look at all the wonderful scenery inside, and upon completing that, we return to the sheriff and complete the quest.
Tussle with any bad outlaws?
It was everything you promised, Sheriff. More fun than a bale full of hay.
Well, all right.
I'm not claiming this for a raider group because they've earned a special place on Johnny's list as we await my great army. But in the meantime, while they're still traveling, we'll do another land. It was time for the safari adventure. Oh my goodness. It's time for a little safari. Oh, what a wonderful jungle adventure. You can hear the trees and the noises of the jungle. Ah, so refreshing. Immediately upon entering the entrance, you find this Sito guy, who looks a lot like one of my cousins. This time, for some reason, he's using a large katana rather than a giant sledgehammer. He informs us in caveman English that there are strange, genetically modified gator claws all over the place, and they keep being made. He doesn't know why. Now, the safari adventure has actually quite the interesting little backstory to it. We befriend Sito and he gives us some more information regarding this, and we get to meet his family. He was a man essentially raised by apes. If you read this note here, you figure out that his settlement, where he was originally from, was destroyed by super mutants, and he was cast out into the wasteland all by his lonesome. He eventually found the Nuka-World park and found these gorillas, which raised him up to this big, strong man. He says this ghoul-looking guy gave him a holotape, but he had no idea what it was. He gives it to us when we're probing him for more information.
Wrinkly man, come inside home. Wrinkly man hurt. Sito try help. Wrinkly man say he make monsters. Sito mad at Wrinkly man. Monsters hurt family. Wrinkly man sorry monsters hurt family. He give Sito shiny thing.
A Nuka-Gen replicator is out of control. It's producing them at an alarming rate.
We listen to it, and it's from a scientist. He talks a little bit about a cloning machine underneath of this section of the park. In the visitor center, we get a little more information from a group that is trying to free animals from the laboratory.
We will not stand idly by and watch our animal brothers and sisters get hunted to extinction. We will take action. We will not remain complacent while corporations abuse our animal brothers and sisters in the name of so-called science. We will take action. Don't forget the part about slaughtering the animals needlessly for food. You see that red light, yeah? Sorry, Chipmunk. I was just trying to, just toss that tape and we'll try again. And when we're done, don't throw out the good tape and keep the bad one like last time.
It seems like Dr. Hine was kidnapped and taken somewhere called the Angry Anaconda? We find that, and we can find his passcode to get into the cloning facility.
Sound like name of snake from old zoo. Oh, maybe Doctor under giant metal snake.
We go out back to the giant metal snake, quote-unquote, which is a roller coaster, and we get the passcode for the terminal letting us into the laboratory.
Do you have any idea the lasting damage it'll do to them? Well, do you?
Look, why don't you just untie me and then let me head back to the laboratory? I'll talk to Mr. Bradburton, and I'm sure we can all have this misunderstanding cleared up in no time.
Oh yeah, nice try, Hein, but you aren't going anywhere.
Hey, Mike, Ingrid, something's going on outside. What is it, Rabbit? I don't know. People running around everywhere. Maybe looking for us. Maybe not. Looks pretty crazy. All right. Rabbit, stay with Dr. Hine. Robin, let's walk the perimeter of the place with Mouse and see what the hell is going on.
Sito never been here.
Inside of this, we get various holotapes from the actual scientist that was living down there, the last remaining scientist that survived the bombs. His initial motivation was to try to restore the Nuka-Gen replicator to repopulate the Earth with a healthy amount of animals to restore the ecosystem. He also used it to make cows for barbecuing and eating, which I think is quite funny. But after a while, we figure out that he was having some trouble with raiders, and he wanted to genetically modify a new animal for defense.
Ventured outside today and almost got spotted by a group of wasteland scavengers that had wandered into safari adventure. Therefore, against my own better judgment, I'm going to attempt to splice a few of the more dangerous samples I've left in cold storage. I need to use the Nuka-Gen replicator to create some sort of specimen that's formidable, yet trainable. Something that can protect me, but most importantly, protect this facility.
Something went wrong, and he produced these gator claws, which have been replicating for quite a while. And now we have to somehow figure out how to turn this off. It's quite easy. You just go to the terminal and turn it off, and then kill the remaining gator claws, and then the day is saved. But the story is quite interesting. Upon clearing out this section, we return with Sito to his home and thank him, and then we dismiss him. We have saved the safari adventure, and now it's time to once again choose a new park because my soldiers still haven't decided to show up yet. It is now time for Kitty Kingdom. Alright, so, in my opinion, Bethesda's equivalent of the Magic Kingdom is actually one of the more difficult parks, and mostly because it's more heavily irradiated than the Glowing Sea. And has more ghouls than the Glowing Sea. If you don't really have Radaway or a radiation suit, this might not be possible unless you're like Superman or something. In terms of aesthetics, this is one of my favorite parts, only second to Galaxyland. Of course, this park was meant for kiddos. There's tons of little rides all over the place, lots of great theming, fantasy of course. I also like castles. You have a killer cart that runs around the entirety of the park. quite funny, yes. These ghouls hit a little harder, I've noticed, so be careful with that. It's also rigged with traps everywhere. Now, you have the equivalent of dollar store Jigsaw that is operating this entire section of the park in the hopes that he's trying to keep out any raiders, and it seems he's been successful so far. Before we push into the main castle and confront this dollar store Jigsaw, we can come across a really neat location, the Funhouse. This is personally one of my favorite parts of the entire DLC. I don't know why, I just think it's kind of funny. You know, on Halloween sometimes when you go to like a haunted corn maze or a haunted house, it's kind of like that but Fallout style, and less scary but more trippy. It's got spinning rooms, optical illusions, mirrors, traps, lots of ghouls, and funny scenery. Really cool to go through. I recommend exploring this in detail if you ever do a playthrough. You can hack a couple of computers to open up some shortcuts and turn some things off, but that's up to you. My favorite part is the upside down room. Oh, I love these things. Reaching the end of this, you can actually get into the main keep, the main castle, but I wanted to see the rest of the park, so I actually went outside after this and just went in through that way. A lot more traps here, so be careful. Upon entering the main castle, we'll enter a theater. Inside said theater, we get to meet Oswald the Great, where he confronts us for a little conversation. And then shortly after, hostility. We can slap him around a little bit, and then he cues some more dialogue and informs us to meet him on the roof for a grand duel. Now, Oswald is a pretty unique character. He has quite the backstory, and it's a little somber. So regardless of what happens up there, I'm planning to spare him. I'm not doing an evil run, quote unquote, like Bethesda intended this DLC to be, which they did a piss poor job at. Now, if we refer to the holotapes I've shown, just kidding, hey guys, this is Editor Scout here. You didn't see any holotapes for Oswald because the footage is corrupted and I'm not going back to re-record all the footage. So guess what? I'm just gonna give you a little rundown. Essentially, he was here, along with a bunch of other entertainers and one of his lovers. The bombs fell, and guess what? They all turn into ghouls slowly. Some of them turned sentient, and most of them feral. Him and his lover were sentient, and his lover went off to go find a cure for this and never returned. So, Oswald is here, awaiting the return of his lover and the cure to try to cure all his friends. The ghouls you were killing throughout this entire area turned out to be his beloved friends, but there's no cure for becoming unferal. Your brain is melted at that point. Anyway, we meet him on the roof, and he gives us quite some juicy dialogue and some lore.
You've been here for 200 years? Why?
We worked here as entertainers until the bombs fell. The radiation may have changed us, but we decided to make this place our home. Over time, the illness took the minds of my friends, and those that we love. I am going to find a cure, and fix my friends before someone like you comes along and exterminates us all.
We end up talking him down because I don't want to kill him.
It's not a sickness. The radiation has consumed their minds. They've become feral.
You're wrong. Rachel is going to find a way to cure them. We're going to fix this. My beloved left this place years ago to find a cure to this disease. In return, I swore that I'd keep our people safe by defending our home. When Rachel walks back through those gates with the cure in hand, then you'll see, everyone will see, that I was right.
I promise you, there is no cure. You'd be better off trying to find her, so you can be together.
You're wrong. There is a cure. There has to be. But maybe she needs my help. If Rachel is still out there, I'll find her, and we'll search for this cure together. I'll gather what remains of my friends, and we'll leave this place in your care. Don't worry about the radiation. It will no longer be a burden to you and your kind. Here, you should have this. Consider it an apology for misjudging you.
And he ends up giving us his top hat and this sword, which is actually quite a good melee weapon. He just disappears.
Farewell.
But this concludes the Kitty Kingdom, for the most part. Again, not claiming any raider group for this one either, because, guess what? My army decided to show up. It's time to make some preparations as we push into Nuka-World, prepping it for annexation into my grand empire. Be sure to stay tuned for next episode as we take over Nuka-World with the Minutemen, starting with our grand battle between all the raider factions. appreciate y'all watching this video. Stay tuned for episode 2. It's going to be quite a good episode. I also thank you for bearing with me with the slow uploads. I'm currently in Argentina, in the middle of our moving process to Europe. I'm currently in a Harry Potter closet with a makeshift PC bearing with 50 Celsius weather every day. Another thing is, look at these numbers. That's unacceptable. Fix it now. Okay, goodbye.